Okay, we'll do a little hive inspection here. I'll go through this one. There's the frames over. I forgot my smoker, so hopefully the bees are nice. They seem to be. As it gets later and later into the year, the wax starts to get kind of stiffer on you. It's tougher to get frames out. I usually don't go through the hives much in the fall, but for the video it'd be kind of neat to show. Okay, so as it gets later and later into the season, the wax stiffens up on you and it's harder to get the frames out, so I usually don't go through them much in the fall, but for the video I'll show it. This is where smoke comes in handy, but well. First frame out is always the trickiest. You don't want to roll bees or a queen. There. Good frame of brood. Lots of baby bees running down. Packing away a little bit of syrup. There's some pollen in here. That's good. It's a good looking hive. Lots of young larvae on this side. I don't know if I'll show it on the camera. Lots of young larvae in there. It still's being well fed, so that's good. They have a lot of fresh pollen coming in still. And there's syrup around the outside edges. Oh, that one got me. Looks good. See, regularly this would be all that I'd really need to see. Well, really in the fall, I just pop the lid. If they look calm, I can see bees in there, they're fine. If they're taking syrup, they're most likely fine. If there's a hive that's not taking any syrup, and the fall keeps going on, and they're not taking any syrup, that's usually a sign that there's something wrong. Or if you pop the lid and they're all running around and roaring, or they're weak, there's not many bees in there, those are symptoms of something being wrong. But these look good though. Nice looking hive. I'll pull out a few more frames just to show on the camera here. I don't see the queen. It's always better to be gentle with the bees than clanging the frames around. It's just a good way to get stung up. Looks good. Nice brood pattern. It's nice and solid. It's not a bunch of empty spots. I don't see any signs of disease or problems, or they have good nutrition still. They look good. Alright, next frame. These girls did alright for honey production. I was stealing a lot of brood from them over the summer to make up new hives, so didn't make a whole lot, but they did good for what they were. They're going to winter well. They're nice and strong. 2 boxes of these. Good. Filling this up with syrup. Syrup around the edges. Pollen. A little bit of brood in the center. Some more pollen. Good. The queens are still laying lots. There's a lot of brood this fall. I went through a hive about a week ago and it still had 8 frames of brood in it. Which is good. It's good. More young bees going into winter is a good thing. Besides mainly pollen. It's good. Some people, these boxes are made to hold 10 frames, although most people around here just use 9. It's easier to get the frames in and out. These back together. didn't see the queen, but I don't need to see her. We'll go through the top box next, just for fun. Alright, I'll get that. If you're wondering why these lids are thicker, there's insulation in them. I built them out of scraps, so they're kind of shitty, but they're alright. They give the bees a little bit extra insulation. And they're free, so. Put that down. There's some of the April Life bar that's left over. And then a little bit of antibiotics still left in here. I'll just leave these in here. They'll chew them up. I'll drag them out of the hive. So get a center frame out here. I always look for which one is easiest. Not necessarily an outside frame, but just whichever one is going to come out of there easily. I think this one here, so. Bees. I don't have smoke today, so I have to work a little bit slower. Bees are being pretty nice though, so. I'm lucky. The smoke is handy for calming the bees down, but it's also nice just to get them out of the way. It out slowly. Ooh, what a beauty. It's a nice frame of brood. So, each one of these little cells underneath there is a baby bee that's going to hatch out within the next 12 days. And each frame like this, like on both sides, when it hatches out, will turn into about 2 frames of bees. So that's great. That's winter bees right there. These ones will be going through the winter. The more the merrier. Nice, that's a good pattern too. I don't see any disease problems. It's all nice solid pattern. It's not all like shotgun pattern. It's nice and solid, so there's a good queen in here. She's from this year, so and she should be good, but then they got syrup around the edges in here. That'd be the corn syrup that they're filling in. And then when this hatches out, they'll backfill that in with syrup. And this will be a box full of syrup and a little bit of honey. No winter on that. So other side here. Oh, see, there's young larvae. Or kind of older larvae, I guess. So this is what it looks like before it gets capped over. They'll grow like that, and then they'll... Ow, fucker. And then they'll cover it over, and 12 days later it hatches out into a bee. It's all a really good pattern. The larvae is nice and white. It's well fed. No disease. That's good. So let's see the next frame here. I don't see my queen, which usually she wouldn't be on a frame like this. There's nowhere for her to lay, so. Inspecting a hive, you want to be as gentle as you can. Don't be slamming the frames around. Just take it out slowly. And also, you don't want to kill your queen. I don't want to kill regular bees, but I especially don't want to kill my queen by accident.
Yeah, by slamming the...
Nice. Those are some good winter bees. These are in really good shape. They're a lot stronger than they were last fall at this time. They look way better. So, I think that they should winter just fine. This other side. I still haven't found any mites yet this year, and all the mite shakes that I've done, I haven't found any mites. So I think that April Life bar is helping. I'll finish off the year with an oxalic acid dribble, just to kill off any stragglers in there that might be left behind. I think that's good enough. I don't want to bug these girls too much, so anyways, that's what a hive looks like at this time of year. They're in good shape.
One more frame.
might as well for the video. I'm not going to go through these hives much more this year, so I'll just show it and see here. I don't really like the feel of these plastic frames, but the queens always lay really good frames of brood in them. They're kind of flimsy and I don't really like the feel of them. Oh, see this? They're filling in with syrup. Just like what I was talking about with backfilling. So this is hatched out. This was a frame of brood a while ago. Now they've filled it right in with syrup, and they'll cap it over and they'll fill this right up with syrup. And let's see what's on the other side here. Oh yeah, a little bit of young larvae still. A little bit of young larvae in the center here, and then syrup, and they'll fill her right in. The young larvae looks well fed, sign of good nutrition. There still is lots of pollen coming in, so I've been lucky with that. Alright, we'll close them up. These outer frames here would be honey, like these ones are most likely all honey and all honey. Maybe just a little bit of brood and some pollen mixed in. So that's good enough. We'll close these girls up and quit bugging them. Right there. We just try and space the frames out nicely, so there's no big gaps or anything. I don't want to squish anybody either.
It'll be like that for months, so yeah.
Now let's tap the lid down. I don't like squishing bees, so give them a little tap here. It doesn't hurt them and it doesn't really piss them off either, so. Put it back on. Right, good. I'll refill their pail of syrup here. We just finished the first pail, so that's 2.5 gallons so far. Alright, so we'll give them a second pail of syrup here. I'll keep feeding them until they quit taking it.
But can you explain this part here?
Okay, so here's where you fill it. This will unscrew. I'm not going to do that because I'll get all sticky. And then right in here, there's 2 holes drilled, and then there's a screen melted in. So when you flip the pail over top upside down, it'll drip out a little bit of syrup, and then it forms a vacuum in the inside of the pail, and the bees will only get it when they lick the syrup off the screen here. Then I got a feed hole just drilled through the lid in here. I should probably put a piece of PVC in here because the bees are chewing at the insulation a little bit. But oh well, it was free, so. I usually like a 2-inch hole, but I think I just lost the bit or something, or couldn't find it that day or whatever. So some of these are 1 1/4 or 1 1/2, which they work just fine too. So, let's flip the pail up on top here. It helps to have the hives level too. If they're tipped over, it'll drip more syrup out. Good. Right, and then this here is a dry pollen feeder.
It's a dry pollen feeder?
I should probably explain it.
Yeah.
So bees can fly in here when there's no natural pollen coming in. There's a powder in here. I'll open it. I filled it right up because I don't want to walk out here in the spring and have to fill it again. But it's just this dry flour powder stuff for the bees. When there's no natural pollen coming in, they'll fly in and they'll gather this up like pollen. I've seen them in the spring trying to gather like pollen from wood chips even. They'll gather it from chicken feed, whatever they think is protein. So at least this is made for them, and it's better than nothing.
It's better than wood chips too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and then I have it up on a barrel to keep mice out of there and keep snow out of it. The way that this is made, it's shaped so that rain will have a real hard time getting in there, or snow. It'll have a real hard time getting in there. It kind of goes up and then in. So I'm just going to leave this out year round. That's what most people do here. Right, well I guess that's it.